Most men don't wreck their lives with one huge mistake. They do it quietly, by living the same day again and again and calling it life. Wake up, check the phone, see someone your age winning, drive to a job that feels pointless, and then tell themselves, I'll start tomorrow. But then nothing changes. Everyone calls it burnout, but a lot of the time, it's not burnout. It's just a man stuck in a life that doesn't fit him. The worst part about losing yourself is how silent it is. No breakdown, no dramatic collapse, just small pieces of you going missing. You stop looking forward to anything. You stop trying new things. You stop imagining a different future. Just an alarm, then commute, then a work that drains you, all with surface level laughs. Then you go home, scroll until your eyes ache, sleep, and repeat. But from the outside, everything looks fine. You have a stable job, a normal routine, nothing that's obviously wrong. But inside it feels like you're carrying your own coffin while you're still breathing. There was this night that I just sat in my car after work. Engine off, the phone in my hand, scrolling, watching people my age build things, travel, chase something that mattered. But I wasn't angry. I wasn't jealous. I just felt this truth. Nothing in my life was changing because I wasn't changing. I was waiting for motivation, for the right time, for life to somehow rearrange itself in my favor. But life doesn't rearrange itself. It reflects the decisions you keep dodging. Here's the part most men never say out loud. They don't hate their life enough to change it. They just hate it enough to complain. If you can't stand your job, but you stay, if you're drained by your routine, but you repeat it, if you picture something bigger, but never take a step towards it, the issue isn't no opportunity. It's that comfort is winning. Comfort doesn't scream, it whispers, you're doing okay, don't risk it. But every time you stay where you don't belong, some part of you goes dim. You're not just protecting a paycheck, you're defending a prison. Look at yourself honestly. Which version of you feels alive in your mind? The easy version that never takes a risk? Or the sharpened version with something to prove? You don't get to keep both. Either you break the routine, or the routine breaks you. At some point, every man hits a quiet crossroad. One where there's no audience, no speech, just that one night where it's you and your thoughts. Do I keep pretending I'm fine, or do I finally become someone else? Maybe that's you right now, late at night, watching this on your phone, alone in your room, wondering, is this really it? But here's the thing, the second you press play, some part of you admitted, I need more than this. That tiny admission matters. Most people numb that voice with noise and never hear it again. Change will never be convenient. It will feel awkward, heavy, lonely at times. But staying the same costs more, because the bill doesn't show up today. It shows up in 10 years when you realize nothing changed but the calendar. So you have one job. Decide. Not I'll try. Not I'll see. Decide that this version of your life is not the final draft before anything in your life actually shifts. One thing has to wake back up. Belief. Not fake positivity, but the decision to accept that a different outcome is still on the table. Think back to when you were younger. You didn't run every dream through a calculator, you just assumed you could become something more. Then life started stacking hits. Breakups, money problems, rejection, people leaving. Now there's a voice that tells you you're too late, too regular, too tired. But you don't have to argue with that voice. You don't have to obey it. If even 1% of belief is still alive in you, that's enough to move. Belief isn't the finish line, it's the signal that says start walking. Tomorrow morning, before you touch your phone, look in the mirror and say, I'm not repeating the same year 10 times. You might feel ridiculous, but say it anyway. Because here's the part that separates the men who change from the men who just watch content. Thinking different doesn't change your life. Moving different does. Not next month, not when you feel motivated, but today. You don't have to fix your whole life this week. You just have to win the next 10 minutes. After this video, set a 10-minute timer, not an hour, just 10 minutes. And in those 10 minutes, update your resume, open your bank app and actually look at the numbers, do push-ups or take a walk, clean one corner of your room, delete one app that's swallowing your time, message one person you've been avoiding. I don't care what you do, just do something productive, because the action itself doesn't need to be impressive. It just needs to be real, because action creates momentum, and momentum quietly rewrites who you are. Imagine you're underwater. Your chest is burning. Everything in you wants to stop fighting. Then you get a tiny breath. Then another. That's how you rebuild a life. Not in one dramatic rescue, but in a series of small breaths you refuse to quit on. 5 small wins in a day, stacked across a week. That doesn't create a new you overnight. It creates a man who no longer abandons himself. This should give you hope. You are the main reason your life looks the way it does, which means you're not powerless. If you built this reality by default, you can build another one on purpose. Every decision is a vote. Another night of scrolling, another skipped workout, and you're voting for regret. But 1 hour of focus, one honest conversation, one workout finished, and you're voting for a future you're not embarrassed to meet. You're not a background character in your own story. You're the one holding the controller. So stop acting like the game is playing you. Pick it up and choose the next move. There will be days you miss your old life. Days where this new effort feels pointless. Days when nothing seems to move. That's when motivation dies and your reason has to carry you. You need a reason that's heavier than comfort. The dad you refused to become, the man your younger self needed, the family you don't want to let down, the future where you're not begging for bare minimum. I'm changing because blank matters more than staying the same. When your brain looks for an exit, you don't negotiate. You read that line and take one more step. So tonight, write one sentence. I must change because blank. Fill in the blank. Keep it in your wallet. Put it on your notes app on your phone. Open it every time you're about to self-sabotage. most men try to handle everything alone. Not because it's noble, because it's safer than being seen trying. A lone wolf can get by, but a pack moves further. You don't need a huge circle. You need one or two people who are done lying to themselves. People who will say, "You're slipping," and not let you pretend they didn't see it. So find someone today, someone you can count on, an accountability partner where you can train together, work beside each other, talk honestly about where you're losing, because when you fail, and you will fail, your pack is what drags you back to your feet. And if you can't find that someone, hit the subscribe button and join our pack, because right now, there are two versions of you waiting 1 year down the road. One of them is grateful you started when it was uncomfortable, grateful you stopped abandoning yourself, grateful you're willing to feel stupid and keep going anyway. But the other one is bitter, because he watched another year disappear while he scrolled, complained, and just called it being tired. The gap between those two men is the decision you make today. Now push it further out, 10 years from now. You will come face to face with the man you could have been. Same age, same face, different choices. One of them will shake your hand. The other won't be able to look at you. You don't control everything in life, but you do control which man you're walking toward. So stand up, feel your feet on the floor, take one slow breath. This is it. Not one day, not when things calm down. You have very little to lose by trying, and almost everything to lose by standing still. Most men die inside lives they never truly chose. You don't have to be one of them. Start proving it today. You walked in here because some part of you finally got tired of your own excuses. You could have stayed home, scrolled your phone, told yourself you'd start next week, but you didn't. You dragged yourself in here because deep down, you know one thing. Who you were yesterday is not enough anymore. Some part of you is trying to escape, not the work, not the pain, but the version of you that keeps walking away from it. Today isn't about a pump. It's not about a mirror. It's about one thing: building proof. Proof that when it hurts, you don't abandon yourself. Because the person who believes they can and the person who believes they can't are living in the same body. The difference, it isn't motivation. It's evidence. You don't convince yourself with words. You convince yourself with proof. Rep by rep by rep. You don't have to prove anything to them. Not your friends, not your family, not the person online who don't even know your name. The only person you have to prove it to is you. Proof that when your lungs burn, you stay. Proof that when your legs shake, you don't rack it early. Proof that when your mind starts negotiating, you don't take the deal. Every rep is a receipt, either for your excuses or for your potential. Feel where you are right now. Sweat crawling down the side of your face. Your palms locked on the bar. Your chest tight. Breathing heavy. And there's a voice saying, That's enough. You did more than most, so why don't you just rack it? Listen carefully. That voice isn't tired. It's afraid. Afraid you might actually become the person you keep pretending to be, and finally escape the one you've been stuck as. You don't quit. You don't quit when it hurts. You don't quit when it burns. You don't quit when your mind starts negotiating. You don't quit when every excuse sounds reasonable. Because every time you do, you drop your own word. And you will feel that later when you're laying there at night knowing you had more and didn't give it. That's the feeling you're here to kill. That's the prison. So break it. Pick it up again. Because belief isn't something you say. It's something you build. If you stop the second it gets uncomfortable, you're not building strength. You're rehearsing quitting. You don't hate yourself for that, but you don't respect yourself either. But the second you decide this rep actually matters, everything shifts. Now you're not just working out. Now you're escaping. You're proving you don't fold under pressure. You're proving you don't walk away when it gets uncomfortable. You're proving you're not the version of you that keeps backing out. And it doesn't happen all at once. It happens like this. One rep, one decision, one moment where you stay when you usually leave. You don't quit when your lungs are on fire. You don't quit when your hands start shaking. You don't quit when your body is begging you to stop. You stay. Because this is your hard. You can choose easy, leave early, do less, stay comfortable, and walk out exactly the same, chained to the same story. Or you can choose this, the weight, the pressure, the discomfort, and walk out different, not because of the workout, but because of what you proved. This is bigger than the gym. The way you handle this set is the way you handle everything. Do you stay, or do you look for a way out? Right now, you're answering that. So don't waste it. Pick it up again. Feel the tension, the shaking, that moment where everything in you says stop. And you go anyway. That's who you are. Not what you say, not what you plan, not what you post. What you do when it gets hard. Other people are going to talk. Let them talk. Their opinion isn't proof. Your reps are. Every rep, every set, every mile. Undeniable evidence of who you are becoming. So don't waste time trying to prove them wrong. Use every second in here to prove yourself right. When you rack the weight, you don't get to lie to yourself anymore. Did you leave here with proof? Or did you leave here with another excuse? Because the weight goes back on the rack either way. The only difference is whether you walked out with respect or regret. So today, did you finally start escaping that version of you that keeps quitting? Because this rep, right here, is where that answer gets decided. So finish it. If you're still here, you already know what this is. This isn't motivation. This is who you are. Welcome to the wolf pack. Let me tell you something about a wolf. A real wolf doesn't spend his life trying to be understood. He watches, he studies, he measures the distance between where he is and what he wants. And most people never understand what actually separates the wolf from everything else. His word is simple: hunt or hungry, advance or get surrounded, focus or destroyed by distraction. But the wolf wasn't always like that. There was times he misread the ground, times the wind lied, times he moved too early or too late and paid for it in his blood. He knows what it feels like to lose, to walk away. There were nights he left the fight with less than he brought in. Days his body said stop and the world would have agreed. But he moved anyway. Not because it was easy. Not because he was certain he would win next time. He moved because something in him refused to back down from what it knew he could be. Most people wait for the proof before they move. The wolf became the proof by moving without it. Between the hunts, there is silence. Long stretches where there's no track to follow, no clear target, no proof that today will be the day. The wolf does not run from that. He stays with it. He lives in the tension between nothing happening and anything happening. That is where his edge is built, not in the moment he strikes, but in the hours before, when there is every excuse to relax and he doesn't. Most never become this. They need noise, they need motion, they need constant signs that it's working. But the wolf is willing to get sharp in the quiet and then let the results show up later. The world only respects what it can see, but the wolf builds what the world won't see until it's too late to stop it. The wolf is not desperate for company. He is dangerous because he is locked in. He doesn't chase everything that moves. He picks his mark. He tracks. He closes distance in silence. And when it's time, he commits with his whole body. No half steps, no retreat, only forward. This is the part of the wolf most people never see. Calm until it's time to strike, still until there's a reason to move. He doesn't make noise to prove he's strong. He doesn't need to. His presence says, I'm still here. That's all the proof you're getting. Here is where most people stop. Not at the hardest moment, not when it's all at its worst. They stop right before it turns. This is where the herd stops. But the wolf plants his feet here. Storms come, ground shifts, enemies circle. He does not ask for easier conditions. He remembers what he is hunting. He takes the next step because pain is the tax the future charges the present. The wolf pays in full and keeps walking. Because whether you admit it or not, you felt a version of this. Maybe it was under a bar in the gym. Maybe it was in the conversation you were afraid to have. Maybe it was just getting out of bed. That wasn't random. That wasn't luck. The real you shows up when there's nowhere left to run. The difference between the herd and the wolf is not talent. It is not circumstance. It is not who had it easier. The wolf does not outsource his decisions to his mood. When it's time to move, he moves. Your future isn't waiting on more time. It's waiting on the version of you that stops running from himself. So be honest with yourself. You already know what you're avoiding. The only distance between where you are and who you know you can become is a decision. You don't have to announce it. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Just start moving like the wolf you already know you are. Quietly, without permission, without applause. And once you do, you won't need to explain a thing. A wolf never explains himself. He just watches, he studies, he measures the distance between where he is and what he wants, and he moves.